Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Oriire podcast, the podcast that tells African stories. I'm Halima.
And I'm Ceci, and today we will be discussing the mythology of twinhood in Yorubaland. So, this is a very kind of interesting topic. I find it a bit fascinating. We're basically talking about the concept of twins, and specifically the myths surrounding that concept. And I think you all know what twins are, basically when two babies are born at the same time. Apparently, the rates of twin births in West Africa is 4 times higher than the rest of the world. And the Yoruba culture in particular has some myths that kind of surround the birth of twins in families.
So in Yorubaland, twins are referred to as Taiwo and Kende, Omo Taiwo and Omo Kende. So typically, Taiwo comes first, like the mom pushes out or Taiwo is removed first, and Kende is either pushed out or removed first. But then, according to Yoruba mythology, Kende is actually the older sibling. Like Kende, the one that came out second, is the older sibling because Kende told Taye to go check out the world, and then before Kende comes to check out the world. So does that make sense to you guys? So basically, the child that comes out first is the younger one, and then the one that comes out after is the older one in Yoruba myth. So that's deeply interesting.
Yes. In Yoruba, twins are called Ibeji, meaning double birth or inseparable two. And they're believed to have a certain kind of harmony that other people don't really have.
Yeah. And according to Yoruba beliefs, apparently everybody has a twin in heaven. So everyone has their heavenly counterparts. But but Taiwo and Kende, like twins, they came with their own heavenly counterparts. I strongly believe me too. I left my own heavenly counterparts in heaven. But that's story for another day. But yeah, that's deeply interesting. I found that piece of information very interesting. Ceci, do you think you have a heavenly counterpart?
I really have no idea. I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. I don't know. I can't really say if I do or not.
I don't know. The thought of that I find it very comforting that, okay.
I think it's kind of interesting to see how a person would feel about this. What kind of person would feel comforted about the fact that they may have a twin in heaven, and what kind of person may feel a little bit like uncomfortable with it?
So yeah, Taiwo is the first twin to taste the world. That's the literal translation. Taiwo, first to taste the world, and Omo Kende, I imagine that's the one who follows the one that came first to taste the world. Yeah.
So we did some research, and according to 2 sources, Mr. Harold Augustus Koko, a Nigerian ambassador, and Professor Senka Kovac from Belgrade University, the Yorubas have the highest rate of multiple births in the world. I had no idea about this. Did you know this?
Oh, I didn't know this, but I'm not surprised. I don't know why I'm not surprised.
I feel like I don't even know that many twins. Like, when you think about, do you feel like you know a lot of twins? I think in my whole life, I've met maybe two twins.
So, fun fact, my dad is the only one that's not a twin. His older siblings, I think they're like 7 sets of them. They're all twins. So there
are a lot of twins in my dad's family too.
Yeah, so it could be a thing. So that could be somewhat true. Yeah, that could be true. These days, I don't know a lot of twins, but like older people, I know a lot of older people that are like twins. Yeah.
I don't know. There's a Yoruba saying, so it means that the last to come becomes the eldest. So it kind of lends credence to what Halima was saying about the belief that the Kende, which is the second born, is actually the firstborn, because they say that he sent his twin out into the world first.
Yeah, and some communities in Yorubaland, they do worship twins. They find like the birth of twins and just twins in general as very like as a divine sort of presence. And then there's some shrines that are built to worship twins, and then celebrations are held in honor of twins in certain places as well.
Yes. And there's been so there's a community in southwest Nigeria, which is basically where the Yorubas are from, and there's a town called Igbora, which is kind of the twin town. And particularly, there's a very high birth rate of twins in that village. And there's a festival as well that they celebrate, where they celebrate twins. So apparently most of the twins in Igbo are fraternal, actually, and not identical. Did you know that?
Oh, I didn't know that, but that's interesting. Why do you think this is a myth? Like the fact that Taiwos are the younger ones and Omokendes are the older ones. Why do you think that's a thing? We know that Taiwo came first and Kendi came later.
I don't really know. I don't know why that would be a prevailing myth. I can think of like why other things would be a myth, but that one in particular is very interesting. I can't think of what would be a reason for that. I know that there are lots of myths surrounding twins. I think twins are kind of really interesting and fascinating, especially when they're identical. Yeah. It's a bit of a mind warp when you actually think about it, that there's somebody out there in the world who looks like you and like you grew up together, and how do you as a person, anyway, let me not go too deep into that because I find it a bit too fascinating. And not just in Yoruba culture as well. Many cultures have lots of myths surrounding twins and lots of beliefs. And, even in like when you watch things that are kind of supernatural, you see that they kind of use twins as a motif in them quite a bit. So it goes to show how prevailing this idea is. But the specific myth about Kehinde being the first while Taye is the second, I don't know how that came about.
Yeah, that's actually deeply interesting. I don't know why it's a prevailing myth as well, but nice.
And some people worship the spirit of twins, hold celebrations in their honor. And then some people think that twins bring good luck or bad luck in particular rural communities. So they may think that the birth of twins portends good luck, and then they may think that the birth of twins portends bad luck. I don't know why it would be anything but good luck, though.
Why would you think twins or having twins is like good luck? What makes twins special?
Because it's two babies for one. It's a bit of like if there's something that's a miracle, I think that is it. I think it's a bit insane when you carry you carry a baby. Well, maybe this is in the age before you could do ultrasounds, but you carry a baby, you expect to have one baby and you have two babies. Is that not a bit of a like, wow, I can't believe that. That's crazy.
True. Well, maybe that kind of explains the myth, because like Ceci said, twins are not, it's something like a miracle, right? So of course people probably there just had to be stories surrounding twins and the birth of twins. So cool.
I think that basically anything that's not typical in like, let's call it the olden days, but anything that happened that was a bit out of the norm, there would definitely be mythology and history and different stories surrounding it. And I don't think that the birth of twins is that commonplace anywhere. I don't think it ever was like super commonplace, and I don't think it still is super commonplace. So of course, when something happens that's out of the norm, historically the elders would have made a story out of it and found something to say about it. However, in Yoruba culture, it's good that it turned out to be mostly seen as a good thing rather than as a bad thing. Because in some other cultures, it was the opposite, where there was even the killing of twins in some parts of Nigeria back in the day. Yeah. So there are many myths about twins. One of them is that the twin can sense their other twin, that like no matter where they are, if they're in pain or whatever, they can kind of sense how they're feeling. I don't know how true this is. And I can't say it because I'm not a twin. And people say, the Kehinde is more like active, has more of a vibrant personality, whereas the Taiwo is more quiet or calmer or maybe smarter.
As someone who has a counterpart in heaven, I like to think that my heavenly counterpart can sense when I'm sad or whatever.
Which one do you think you are? Do you think you are you must be the Taiwo then, since you're the one that was born.
Yeah, definitely. I have to be the Taiwo. And then you know how you said Candies are the more vibrant one. I don't think that's a myth. I don't think I agree with that one, because this is besides the twin thing, but I have a problem when Nigerians are like the more outgoing child or sibling is the one that is vibrant in quotes, or that's the one with much more personality. I think so calmness and being quiet and being reserved, that's also a vibrant personality trait. They're just quieter than the other one. But anyways, that's by the way. It's because I'm a quiet and reserved person. So I don't like when people are like, oh, the more outgoing person is vibrant. I'm like,
okay, maybe vibrant is not the
louder.
right vibrant is not the right choice of words. Let's say that Kende is more outgoing, whereas Taiwo is a bit quieter.
Good.
Okay.
That's the
So
myth.
have you also heard of the thing surrounding beings and twins in Yorubaland, where they say that for twins, like you should cook beans, and on their birthday, you have to cook beans for people as well?
I haven't heard that one. That's interesting.
I've heard of EYBG, but then I don't really know too much about it.
This is the first time I'm hearing that though. The one have you heard this one where like if you buy something for one twin, you have to buy for the other?
I have heard that.
Yeah,
yes.
that's another myth. I don't know how true that is, but it's a myth apparently.
I mean, I think that should be the case anyway because they are siblings. So like, yes, if you buy something for one sibling, you have to buy for the
but
other.
Like with twins, Nigerians are very dramatic. So it's like if you give one something, you have to give the other one because like with siblings, like okay, no, you're the younger one or you're the older one, just go. But with twins, you have to you really have to.
I see that's because they're siblings of the same age. Otherwise, it would be serious discrimination if you give one something and you don't give the other. So yes, I think it makes sense. But then maybe they took it a step too far. Like people who, they dress their twins in identical clothes and basically the twin has no identity. So they make them use the same things, wear the same things. And then at some point, I don't know. I feel like some people would just want to run away after that. It's like your whole life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're made to like literally dress like someone. What if you want to express your own personality small? Like your parents are like, no, people still have to be dressing like each other. Sorry.
Nah, I feel like that one, that thing where they have to like wear the same outfit and whatnot, it only applies when they're like really young. Because have you met twins when they're like in secondary school or something? They're different people entirely. Like one is always crazier than the other, while one, like they just have different things going on for them.
I don't think that I don't think I've known any twins in secondary school. We did have some twins in my primary school, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a boy and a girl, and the boy was Kende and the girl was Taiwo. They were really cool. And yes, I think Kende was more outgoing than Taiwo actually, when on second thought. But then I don't really know much more.
Actually, I do know a Taiwo and a Kende where Taiwo is the more outgoing one. Kende is very, very quiet. Very.
Really?
Like, you barely see her. But yeah. So that's definitely a myth because it's not a fact. The personality traits thing is definitely a myth and not a fact. But yeah.
Okay. And of course, we know that other cultures have their own myths surrounding the birth of twins and twinhood. For example, the Gemini zodiac sign, which depicts twins. I believe they're called Castor and Pollux. Then there's Romulus and Remus. There's Apollo and Artemis. Those are all twins that are kind of popular in mythology, aren't they? The ones I know about with a little bit more are Apollo and Artemis, who are completely different. Being that Artemis is the huntress in Greek mythology, and Apollo is the god of health, or is it music?
I'm not into Greek mythology like that. The only one I like, what's the name of that woman that bewitches people with her hair? Because I'm like, that would be me if I existed.
Medusa?
Then. Yeah, good. I feel like I'll be Medusa.
Apollo is the god of music, healing. Apollo is the god of many things, so it is music and health. But Artemis is the huntress. And when we talk about Castor and Pollux, what is it about? Let me think about famous twins. Who else are famous twins?
Do you mean like celebrities?
Not necessarily celebrities, but like famous historical figures that have been twins or mythological figures or anything like that.
I don't know myth like that, but let me see. Mary-Kate and Ashley. I feel like
Mary-Kate and Ashley.
All of Zach and Cody. What are their real names?
Oh my goodness, that's true.
Dylan
and Cole Sprouse.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness, what's the name of the one in Riverdale? The fine one. Cole.
Oh, they're both fine though because they're identical.
But Cole has something about him. I think it's because he's more. To be honest,
when I watched Zach and Cody, I liked Cody better.
Yeah.
But in Zach and Cody, that's cool. But in Zach and Cody was actually the quiet academic one, and Zach was the outgoing one.
Mm-hmm. I think Zach is Dylan.
Yes, Zach is Dylan.
And Cole.
Cody is cool.
But anyway, Who else? What are twins do we know?
Don't know. Let me Google famous twins.
We're supposed to think about Yoruba twins. Do you know any like Yoruba twins? Since we're talking about Yoruba myth.
The Lijadu sisters or something like that. Were they twins?
I don't even know who those people are.
So the Lijadu sisters, yes, they're identical twins. They were a Nigerian music duo, quite famous from the mid 1960s to the mid 1980s, and they were successful in Nigeria. They had like Afrobeat,
Really?
jazz, and disco music. Yeah.
Interesting.
So those are the only ones I can think of at the moment. But I'm Googling. Google will come to my rescue. So there are some Nigerian twins. There's Chidinma and Chidiebere Aneke, who apparently work in Nollywood. I'm not familiar with their work though. Then we have Giselle Bundchen has a twin. Did you know that? I did not know that. She's not Yoruba though.
So I'm trying to remember this. I feel like they're actors, like Nigerian twin actors.
Beyonce has twins. Yes.
Tessie, we're talking about Yoruba people.
Beyonce is Yoruba. You don't know.
Oh, please.
Yes, so she's there. Please.
Wait.
Do
you guys remember any like Nigerian twins? Like, I think they used to cast them in movies all the time. They used to play like twin roles and stuff.
I really don't know. Let me try and Google. Nigerian twin actors. Oh, Chris Hemsworth is not a twin, but apparently his kids, he has twins. There are a couple of Nigerian celebrity twins. Oh my God, P-Square twins.
P-Square, yeah, but then they're not even Yoruba.
There's Kende and Taiwo Bankole.
They're not actors and actresses.
Kende, I'm sure that one of them is an actress. I've definitely seen her in movies, but I don't know if both of them have been in Nollywood. Yeah, Kende Bankole is a Nollywood actress, and she was in she's been in quite a few things. She was in The Setup. She's been in that Prophetess movie.
The one I was trying to remember is like the Aneke twins. Those girls, I think they used to be in like old Nollywood movies.
Okay, guys. So yes, twinhood is a very interesting part of Yoruba mythology, and as we've mentioned, Kehinde and Taiwo, Ibeji. The most overarching myth, though, is the one that says that Kehinde, who is the second-born twin, is actually the firstborn twin because he was the one who sent the first twin to Earth to check it out and let him know. Okay, all right. So thank you guys for listening. We hope that you've enjoyed this episode where we talked about twins. We know we've deviated quite a bit and started discussing.
We went quite a bit.
Just a bit. I started talking about famous twins. Check out the Lijadu sisters, guys. Okay. And yes, make sure to follow us on Instagram where we are Oriire_Africa. Oriire is spelled ORIIRE. Follow us on other social media. Go on our website, oriire.com, and contact us if you want to be on an episode of the podcast. If you think that you have a better perspective on this, which I'm sure you do, or you think that you have a topic you want to discuss with us, we would love to have you. Thanks for listening.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.